Welcome to Niaga AWANI. We start off with some international news. Chinese President Xi Jinping reiterated that China's resolve to open up a high standard will not change and the door of China will still be open wide for the world. Xi stressed that the world facing a pandemic, drastic changes, both unseen in a century. Economic globalization is experiencing headwinds and the world is entering a new period of volatility and transformation. Now more than ever, business communities across the world yearn for peace and development, call for fairness and justice and aspire for win-win cooperation. Xi Jinping stressed that on putting people and their lives first, actively engaging in international cooperation is needed. This include vaccine research and development, production and distribution, bolstering global public health governance, jointly building multiple lines of defense against the virus, and working for a global community of health for all. From China, we go to US. The US stocks ended sharply lower on as investors fled the stocks market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 3.57% to 31,490 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index shed 4.73% to 11,418 points. And the S&P 500 tumbled 4.04% to 3,923 points. Analysts said that the renewed sell-off, which followed the disappointing financial reports from a number of retailers, showed inflation concerns continue to put the market under great pressure. Investors now are keeping a close eye on US Federal Reserve's action on raising interest rates and its potential economic impacts. Shares declined sharply in Asia after a broad retreat on Wall Street triggered by worries over the impact of persistent high inflation on corporate profits and consumer spending. The Nikkei 225 in Tokyo lost 1.9% to 26,402 points. The Federal Reserve is trying to temper the impact from the highest inflation in 4 decades by raising interest rates. Many other central banks are on a similar track, but the Bank of Japan has stuck to its low interest rate policy, and the gap between those benchmark rates of the world's largest and third largest economies has pushed the dollar's value up against the Japanese yen. Japan reported a trade deficit for April. Its imports ballooned 28%. The shift reflects surging energy costs and the war in Ukraine and weakening of the yen against the US dollar. We go down to our local bourse as at 9:52 a.m. KLCI is up 6 points to 1556 or 0.44 points. A very slow day in trading, I suppose, with over 560 million shares traded with valued at close to 300 million ringgit. Gainers outdoing losers at 400 for gainers, 190 losers. Two big news that we can talk about. We're talking about the DNB stake. This is because Malaysia's 4 largest telcos are seeking a majority stake in DNB, countering a proposal by the government to offer them a minority ownership. This is seen and cited by a letter sent by the firms to the MOF. The 4 dominant providers, Celcom, Axiata, Digi, Maxis and U-Mobile, also want a review of the pricing model and network plan access offered by the agency. Maybe you can take a look into how the stocks are doing. We can start with Maxis. Maxis is up by 6 sen to 3 ringgit 64 sen. Another company that we can take a look at is of course Axiata. Axiata is also up 6 sen to 3 ringgit 23 sen. Also, some news from our neighbor Indonesia. The world's biggest shipper of edible oils lifted a ban on palm oil exports in a move that will bring relief to the global market after the war in Ukraine choked off critical supplies. Palm oil exports can resume from Monday 23rd. This is following the statement coming in from Indonesian President Joko Widodo, or Jokowi, said in an online briefing yesterday. This is after considering improvements in local supply prices and of course as well as the 17 million workers in the industry. We all know that these items does impact Malaysian businesses as well. A quick look at SIME. SIME is up 2 sen to 2 ringgit 32 sen. Some other plantation company like IOI, for instance, is down 3 sen to 4 ringgit 36 sen.
Okay. Itu dia
Panjang
cerita,
minggu dia.
Panjang minggu dia.
Kita tak sabar nak pergi weekend.
Dan sebenarnya banyak juga perkembangan semasa, dan juga kalau kita nak lihat apa yang berlaku di Amerika Syarikat sebagai contoh, monitorinya, mengetatkan dasar monitorinya itu, dan juga banyak juga perubahan-perubahan yang berlaku melihat kepada bagaimana perubahan di Malaysia, pengumuman-pengumuman perdagangan dan sebagainya. Tapi ringgit ni apa cerita, Ibrahim?
Ringgit aduh. Boleh pula tak ringgit punya graf?
Okey, kita try nak tengok balik kepada Malaysian ringgit kan.
USD. Okey, so ringgit USD makin lemah ataupun melemah kan?
Melemah.
Makin melemah. Right now we're looking at 4.5 ringgit lah to $1 $4.5. Jadi baru ni ingatkan nak melawat kakak dekat Sweden. Tengok flight pun dah nak dekat berpuluh ribu, tengok kita pun takut. So nampak gaya kita akan look to travelling domestically, spend money domestically dan sebagainya. On your screen right now 0.22 ataupun kalau kita back translate 4.5 kepada $1.2. It doesn't seem like the ringgit is going to strengthen against the US dollar anytime soon. And of course, we're also looking at how the US dollar is going to perform over regional currencies. Nampak gaya tak begitu memberangsangkan. Namun demikian, banyak businesses yang ekspor seperti sektor getah, sektor palm oil macam kita bilang tadi. Indonesia dah release balik dah palm oil, so now we can send back to the market 5,000 ringgit per ton for CPO. So these businesses, there seems to be a lot of money going out.
Betul.
So ada opportunity. Awal rancangan tadi kita mulakan dengan bagaimana pelabur-pelabur VC terutamanya venture capital nak meluangkan masa di San Francisco dan juga di pasaran serantau untuk mendapatkan dana daripada LP dan sebagainya untuk bantu invest dalam syarikat-syarikat tempatan. Tapi ambil peluang ini untuk grow business di rantau, not just domestic. In fact, one big question that VCs tend to ask entrepreneurs adalah not about what is your business, you buat apa, you jual apa, how do you make money. Though itu semua standard.
Betul.
But the question now is, what is your secondary market? What is the second market that you want to target? Okay, you jual this particular, pen in Malaysia and you're doing well. What is your second market that you want to enter? Not many entrepreneurs even think about that question just yet.
Fokus satu, maksudnya kalau itu je lah, AA je lah.
So sampai bila kita nak jadi ETF? Kita nak jadi startup. And startup tu to grow into a big company. You cannot be a startup forever. If you're 3 years old startup, there's something wrong with your business model already. So we need to ask ourselves, what do we need to do to grow our market even further? So when you see ringgit weakening, when you see against US dollar, maknanya apa? Maknanya kalau kita export kita punya goods and services, we get more ringgit, because our ringgit is weakened. So if you want to try and import stuff, you're in trouble because you're going to pay a lot more. But if you export stuff, you're going to get a lot more money. Itu satu. Dua, VCs want to see growth. VCs macam Aaron Sarma daripada Scale Up Malaysia, macam Raja Hamzah daripada RHL Ventures, macam Penjana Capital. I just met Tengku Omar daripada Penjana Capital. It is critical for our startups, particularly in tech startups. But not necessarily just tech startups. Can be climate tech, agro tech dan sebagainya. If you can't think about your secondary market, game over already. You can't grow your business. So I think that would be some of the lessons this week. Aku bagi khutbah hari Jumaat.
So kita nak tengok jugalah bagaimana kerajaan juga boleh membantu untuk fasilitasi usahawan-usahawan, startup dan juga macam-macam lagi untuk memperluaskan, mempelbagaikan perniagaan.
Diversifying your business.
Mempelbagaikan perniagaan itu. Okey, sekian sahaja buletin Awani ataupun Niaga Awani untuk minggu ini, dan pastinya minggu depan ada banyak lagi laporan menarik. WEF rakan kita Najib Arif yang dalam perjalanan
di Davos. Kesian dia travel jauh-jauh pergi Switzerland.
Okey, sekian sahaja Niaga Awani untuk waktu ini. Saya Harits Asyraf Hasnan.
Saya Ibrahim Sani.
Salam hormat.